What am I doing? Is it a sport? A sport where there's no playing field or other players or rules or organisation? Is it a kind of therapy? Some kind of allied medical treatment toward health and well-being, like physiotherapy, but for someone who doesn't necessarily have a damaged limb? Or is it prophylaxis in the hope of warding off inevitable physical decline? Is it relaxation? Relaxation where you don't get to relax, but rather strain and grimace with the ordeal and maybe look forward to sitting down afterwards when you default to your habitual inactivity? Is it performance? Performance where there's no theatre and no audience? Or I suppose now I have an audience here. Thank you very much for watching. But the windfall of spectators is hardly inherent in lifting. It's an incidental layer on top of lifting that could only be interesting if I say something interesting. But you know, people have been lifting for thousands of years without social media. Is it athletics? Athletics where you stay put? Athletics without a track and finishing line or bike or hills, an exertion through space without geography or locomotion? Is it a competition? A competition without other competitors? And for me, I'm not even competing against myself. I suppose over time I must have achieved PRs, but then they're personal records that I don't have a record of. They weren't notable, but went with the mechanics of lifting, where I might try a further rep or put more weight on the bar. Is it a goal-oriented activity without having a finite goal, like getting somewhere or achieving something of note that you can share among your friends? My goal is just to keep doing it. Is it work? Work without obvious productivity, but just a weight going up and down with no apparent benefit to anyone else, nothing to pass on or sell in the surrounding economy? Is it an artificial substitute for being naturally active as people were before the age of automation? Is it a synthetic invented labour to engage the body with sweat and recover some of the old satisfaction in manual toil? Is it aesthetic in the sense of building a prettier physique, but then an aesthetic maybe without creativity? And if it's about aesthetics, is it just vanity and insecurity, as if you're building up muscle to compensate for something to make up for feeling inadequate? Is it a discipline, a symbol of self-improvement where you do it for the sake of personal control? A discipline without a social order around it, but just circular rewards concerning no one but you in your insular consciousness? Is it meditation? But then meditation where you can't meditate. I mean, you can't emancipate your consciousness from onerous care and effort, where there's no freedom to explore the imagination. There isn't much mental rhapsody in the gym because there's a heavy weight in your hands and you have to concentrate on not dropping it. Well, lifting has an obscure identity, which is both its weakness and strength. Symbolically, it's captured by a word that could mean almost anything: exercises, which could apply to music or military manoeuvres or maths. Lifting is a lot of things, but nothing is quite like it. There's a lot to it and nothing to it at the same time. In this series, I want to explore what lifting is to me, why I think about it a lot, and why I value it. I'm not sure that I can answer my own questions just now, but they might just answer themselves once we get under the bar.